I'm sure this is not a particularly new feeling for people in this room, but growing up, I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. My parents, about 4 to 5 years ago, moved from the house that my brother and I spent a lot of time growing up in, and moved to a different, like what I like to call their retirement fun home. So they built a house, they cleared out 5 acres in the middle of the woods, and my dad bought a tractor. I know. And a 4-wheeler. He just keeps spending my inheritance. And put like a 9-hole putting green out there, and there's like a batting cage and like a little wave pool, and I'm like, where the fuck was this? So when they were packing up our childhood home, they decreased their house size, which meant that my brother and I picked up a whole lot of shit that my mom collected over the years. I would say that my mom is a hoarder. Not quite A&E hoarders, but she's what I would like to call a shopping hoarder. So she likes to go to Macy's or JCPenney or Targets, because it's plural, and just buy shit. It's just buying stuff that exists on sale, and then she goes to Home Depot and buys those giant like Sterilite tubs, and then she fills the tubs with the things that she's purchased, and then those go into her storage unit. I know of 2. I'm pretty sure that when she goes, it'll be like, she had 15. She also likes to keep clothes. So like there's clothes that every time I go home, I'll try to like sneak some out so that I can give them to Goodwill. So like there's stuff in there from like, 1983, like working girl type like blazers, or once she found something that she would like to wear, she would buy it in like 15 different colors. But she's also retired, so she wears sweatpants and old free t-shirts every day. So in this new house that they have, there's 8 closets. My dad has a 4th of their walk-in closet, and my mom has the other 7 3/4. So one of the things that she sent me was this diary, or some journals, kind of going back, and I was just talking to other storytellers backstage and just saying like, I was a really good kid. Like there was really nothing in these diaries that like was really deep or anything other than like, oh my God, my mom wouldn't let me go out overnight to this party with these boys. I hate her. I'll never do that when I grow up. No, that was smart. And she's like a very emotional person. You kind of say like one thing slightly wrong, and it's a big thing, and you have to like have the meeting, and then you talk about it, and then she cries, and then you cry, and then you have to make cookies, then she gets upset, and then she says something that makes you pissed off, but you have to immediately forgive her because that's how that works. I'm 39 years old. I just turned 39 on Tuesday. Thank you. And I still have to call my mom every day. So I call her. It's weird. I have to call her usually when I'm either walking to work or walking to the bus to get to work. And it's just like a 3-minute phone call just to like check in. And recently on one of these calls, she doesn't answer. But my dad answers her phone, which isn't that out of the blue, but my dad's like usually outside in the woods on the tractor. So he answers her phone, and he tells me, Rakisha, your mother and I just got back from the doctor, and we just want to tell you she's got breast cancer. And everything's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna like go and figure it out with the doctor, and she's gonna get surgery, or we're gonna figure out like what the plan is. So I was like, okay, you sound all right. So I feel fine. What stage is it? He's like, I don't know. Like, oh, okay, well, we should figure that out, like what stage it is. And but he was like, okay, but there's like a procedure, right? So you like figure out your doctor, and then there's more tests, and then they figure out like exactly what type of breast cancer it is, and like how big it is, and what stage it is, and that kind of thing. And so I was like, all right. So we get to that appointment, and again, and my mom, like getting back to like talking, I didn't talk to her that day because she couldn't talk to me, but I talked to her the next day, and she's her normal self. Like, we kind of talk about it, but not really. We kind of gloss over it. About 3 days after that, she did call me to let me know that I could not let my dad bring a hussy into her house when she died, so she's clearly doing well with it. But they get to the second, they get to the second appointment, and it's not, the cancer isn't in her lymph nodes, which is good, so she's in between 2 and 3. It's relatively small, so she can just have the surgery, but it is something that's slightly weird for it to be breast cancer. And so, and again, I'm talking to my dad, and he's like, so they're gonna do, like, she's been having some issues with her back, and so they're gonna do a lobotomy, like on your mom. They're gonna do that to figure it out. And I was like, I don't actually think lobotomy is the right word for what you're trying to say. No, they're gonna do a lobotomy on your mother. Daddy, I'm telling you, they're doing a lobotomy on your mother. And I'm like, do you mean a biopsy? That's what I said. So they do a bone biopsy on my mom to see if it's just in her breast or also in her bones. And when they're doing it, they give her the DNA test. And the DNA test is to see if this type of breast cancer is hereditary. And while we've been waiting like for this test to come back, the thing that I keep thinking about in my head is like going back to those diaries and me being like, God, I hate my mom and I'm never gonna be like her. And then I think about all of these things that happened to me when I was growing up. Like in high school, I used to get these really bad nosebleeds in the middle of the night. And I mean, like, it would like coat my sheets, and I would have really big clots, and I had to go to the hospital a couple of times for them to actually get the bleeding to stop. And my mom, who hates blood, isn't good with like illness at all, was steadfast in that, and she would like come into my room whenever it was happening, and I would be freaking out, and she would just calm me down and know exactly what to do, and then change my sheets, and then put me to bed, and then sleep in my room in case it happened again. And so those little things I did forget until we got to the point where I was like, okay, maybe I do want to be like my mom. The DNA test came back. It is hereditary, which for me, the only thing that means is that like I just need to go in earlier. Ladies, get your mammaries checked. It just doubled down that like all of those things that I thought I knew about her, and all those little imperfections that like really irritate me on a short leash don't matter in the long run. If I could be as strong and as steadfast as she is, I will have lived a good life. Thank you.
Just the two of us.